Hello everyone. Today we'll explore the hierarchy of filters for obtaining more precise data in Looker Studio. Filters are indeed very helpful when working with data. For instance, when we have various data and need to use only partial data depending on the chart, different pages, or the entire report, we use our filters for this purpose. In our hierarchy, our filters are divided into placement at the report level, which is the highest type of hierarchy. Next, we have the page level and the chart level. Today, we'll examine each of them and look at where they are added and how they differ. So let's start with an example. We have a company report about its cash flow. We see that in the first example, we have 2 units with their expenses and income accounted for in this report. And in this case, we want to filter the values only for our main unit, Unit 1. So that the entire report is built only on data with information about Unit 1. To do this, we go to the report settings, and here we scroll down to the Add a Filter section. We add a filter, and here we need to set the conditions. In this case, we need our unit to include only the value Unit 1. We name it Unit 1 so we don't forget what this filter is for. We save it. Now we see that the data in the table and values in all our charts and reports have changed accordingly. Here we can see that this table now contains only Unit 1. Let's now look at how to set up a filter at the page level. For example, we have a page where we want to view only the company's income. In this case, even if we insert income values by numerical values as a parameter, we see that we still have designations like marketing and so on. That is, expense categories. To eliminate these and display only categories related to our income parts on this sheet, we need to add a filter to the page. How to do this? We need to go to Current Page Settings. And after that, we see that since the report level filter is higher in the hierarchy, we already have this filter by default. And now we add filter on this page. We add create a new one, and now we specify that in our income or expenses category, we want to contain only income data. We enter and name this filter so that we can remember it. We save. Now we see that the extra values have disappeared. Accordingly, this page filter also affected all control elements. Control elements are actually also page filters, but they are dynamic. If the filters we set at the page level cannot be changed by our users, then page filters can be changed by them. But we see that this filter for the entire page has also affected the control elements. And whereas before we had a selection from income or expenses, now we only have income. We can look at the example of the previous sheet, since we didn't add this filter there, so here we can choose either income or expenses. So we have configured our page level filter and also discussed that drop-down lists and control elements are also page filters. For instance, if we want to look at only a project, it will also affect all our charts. And now we are left to consider how we can add filters to the charts themselves. Chart filters do not affect other charts, do not affect the page, and do not affect the entire report, but only the chart itself. Let's go to the first page and we see that we have circular diagrams with expense tables and income tables. The income tables display only project income. Other categories do not relate to this income. And accordingly, we have expenses, and project income also figures as a category, although in reality it does not relate to expenses. So let's make it so that only expense or income categories are displayed on our circular diagrams. To do this, we go to our diagram and scroll down to the filter level and add a filter. We see that we already have a hint that we have a filter for our entire report. We add our filter, create it, and now we need to have only expense categories. We do this the same way as in the previous version. We add that in the income or expenses categories, we want only expenses. And we add the name only expenses category. We save. So we see that our project income has now disappeared. Accordingly, here we only have expense categories, and extra data does not interfere with our report. And we can do the same here. In fact, when we add filters, all previous ones are preserved. And if we have already used only income on the previous page, we can also add it. And accordingly, only one category will be displayed. And that's basically it. I want to reiterate, the main thing to remember is that at the very top level, we have a filter for the entire report. Next, we have page filters through custom filters that cannot be changed, and through dynamic filters via control elements. Give it a like if you enjoyed the video. If you still have any questions, ask them in the comments.